ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about the Thursday night slate in the NBA. There were some intriguing matchups, and there was a team that lost by 18. Well, that lost by 2 points after leading by as many as 18 in the fourth quarter. So let's not waste any time. The first game I want to cover is the Dallas Mavericks and the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic, they are right now at the well, right now the East, well, eighth in the Eastern Conference right now, and Dallas. We know that they are back in that 10th spot when it comes to the play-in tournament. So maybe the Dallas Mavericks with Anthony Davis coming back, maybe that has given them a jolt because you can see he had he had 15 points. Anthony Davis 15 points. Kai Jones 4 points. Najee Marshall 6 points. Spencer Dinwiddie 7 points. Excuse me. Spencer Dinwiddie 7 points. Klay Thompson 12 points. The bench production for the Dallas Mavericks: Caleb Martin 5 points. Dwight Powell 4 points. Brandon Williams 14 points. Max Christie 12 points. Jaden Hardy 22 points. Now, we all know that the Mavericks have basically threw in the towel for this season, and plus going into next season they are going to raise ticket prices by 8%. Like I said, hey, people, they like sports, but they don't like the business side of sports. Me, hey, I can understand. I'm a businessman. So, hey, if you see where you can make some more money by, hey, raising the prices a little bit, by all means, go ahead and do it. That's why when it comes to ownership and sports business, you can't you what I can say what the Dallas Mavericks are doing, you can't take somebody else's feelings into consideration when it comes to running your business, and you want a great outcome for your business. Now, the season ticket holders, they are your business. If you can't comply to the needs and everything that can give them an ultimate fan experience, they are gonna stop coming to the games. Now, Mark Cuban is not the majority owner anymore. He's a minority owner. So any and everybody that now any and everybody who is over Mark Cuban in terms of ownership, they pretty much just scrapped everything. That's why they got rid of Luca. Now, if Mark Cuban was the head of ownership in that situation, he wouldn't have let Luka Doncic go. So the Mavericks next season, they pretty much gonna be like this. The season after that, they pretty much gonna be like this. You cannot see improvement from the Dallas Mavericks until, I'm going to say, we're in 2025 right now, so possibly 28 or 29. That's when you will see improvement from the Mavericks. So the Mavericks in this case are at the 10th spot. Orlando Magic, they are at the 8th spot. They have some legitimate scores. Pablo Benchero had 35 points. Franz Wagner had 20. Wendell Carter Jr., excuse me, had 12 points. Corey Joseph, 6 points. Contavious Caldwell Pope, he played 33 minutes and didn't have any points. So his plus minus was -4. So he wasn't a contributing factor to the Magic at all last night. Plus, the Orlando Magic bench production, Jonathan Isaac, 0 points. Tristan D. Salivia, 2 points. Joe Goja Batiste, 3 points. Gary Harris, 0 points. Caleb Houston, 0 points. Anthony Black, 14 points. Traveling Queen did not play coach's decision. Jet Howard did not play coach's decision. And as you can see, when we look at the team statistics as a whole, the last couple of years for both of these teams, they have been in the playoffs. Now, both of these teams are on the verge of not even making it to the playoffs. The best they can do is a play-in tournament, and you got to win 2 games to get into the playoffs. Just if you make the play-in tournament, you got to win 2 games just to make it into the playoff bracket. So it's gonna be the last 8-9 games for both of these teams, the Mavericks and the Magic, will be a telltale sign for their future, because last couple of years, the Magic, their future trajectory has gone up. But if they can't make it back to the playoffs this year, the worst thing that can happen is that I know that the Magic are going to bring back Pablo Banchero, but the worst thing that the Magic can do is implode everybody else, trade this player and trade that player. For the Mavericks, outside of Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, they pretty much have imploded already. So the best thing the Dallas Mavericks can do is just hope for a play-in tournament spot for the next 3 years. The next game I am going to cover is the Atlanta Hawks and Miami Heat. Both of these teams are in the play-in tournament bracket for the Eastern Conference. Atlanta is at the 7th spot, and the Miami Heat is at the 10th spot. Now, this was a very critical game for both teams last night. Now, for the Atlanta Hawks, Oniki Anjuwu, 15 points. Zachary Rochester, 5 points. Trae Young, 29 points. Vic Korecki, 14 points. Dyson Daniels, 9 points. Dominic Barlow, 4 points. Georges Nagang, 5 points. Caris LeVert, 17 points. Terrence Mann, 14 points. Muhammad Guayi, Jalen Johnson, Garrison Matthews, they all did not play. Jalen Johnson didn't play because of shoulder surgery, and the last 2 players didn't play because of it was a coach's decision. Now, for the last couple of years, I'm just gonna go on ahead and say it. For the last couple of years, both of these teams, like the 2 teams that I said earlier, the Hawks and the Heat, have been in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. I don't know what has gone on, but the theme of this week for my show has been either teams have turned the ball over too much, or they've given up leads, or we have regular playoff participants struggling to even make it to get a play-in tournament spot. And that's what both of these teams are in the same boat. Because the last 2 years, Atlanta Hawks have been in the playoffs. The last 2 years for the Miami Heat have been in the playoffs. Now they are scratching and clawing, just trying to make it to a play-in tournament. And as you can see, when it comes to both of these teams, when it comes to their starting lineup and bench production, it's not cutting it at all. It isn't. You can see from the Miami Heat standpoint of things. Andrew Wiggins, 16 points. Bam Adebayo, 12 points. Khalil Ware, 7 points. Tyler Hero, 36 points. Alec Burks, 11 points. Now, Tyler Hero, he is a legitimate scorer. this is his 10th, well, excuse me, not 10th, but 20th 30 plus point game that he has. And he's really the only reason why the Miami Heat are keeping themselves afloat. Not to mention that the bench production is pretty much stagnant, if not bad, when it comes to the Heat's bench production. Hayward Highsmith, 11 points. Kyle Anderson, 10 points. Davion Mitchell, 16 points. Pelle Larsson, 3 points. And everybody else didn't play because of injuries or coaches' decisions. So, Miami Heat, this is the worst that the Miami Heat have been since 2008. The Atlanta Hawks, we are used to seeing them in this position, being at the seventh or eighth spot in the East, scratching and clawing to even make it to the playoffs. But the Miami Heat, I mean, it has been a drastic change of trajectory from even 2 years ago. Because 2 years ago, Miami Heat, they were just coming off an NBA Finals appearance. Last year, they get swept in the first round by the Boston Celtics. Now we move to present day, 32-41, and you are the 10th spot in the East, and you can't lose too many more games, because if you do, you are out of the play-in tournament race. Ladies and gentlemen, the Miami Heat is not a top-notch team anymore. They haven't been for a while. When they got to the finals 2 years ago, they got there by default because they beat the Boston Celtics. They beat every other team they beat the top two teams that was better than them, and then everybody else was pretty much average competition. So they got to the finals by default. The Hawks, last 2 years ago, they lost to the Boston Celtics. Last year, they lost to the Boston Celtics. This year, they might not make it to the playoffs. So we look at team statistics in this game. Both of these teams are in the same boat, and they are pretty much bottom of the barrel teams now. They really are. So as you look at it, you see statistics. Both teams shot the same amount, made the same amount of threes with 18. Free throw percentage, the Miami Heat was better. Total rebounds, +1 for the Miami Heat. Offensive rebounds, +1 for the Miami Heat. Defensive rebounds, deadlocked at 30. They were tied for 30 rebounds each. Assists, Atlanta Hawks, +1. Steals, pretty much deadlocked at 10. Blocks, +1 for the Atlanta Hawks. Total turnovers. Now see, like I said, everybody throughout this week, it has been the same exact stuff. It has just been a theme. Everybody who has either won or lost this week in the NBA has had at least 10 plus turnovers, no matter if it's the losing team or the winning team. What I'm going to say to both the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks, Miami Heat, you have 9 games left in the regular season. You, Atlanta Hawks, you are currently the 7th spot in the East. Miami Heat, you are currently the 10th spot in the East. You cannot have games where you are turning the ball over 10 to 15 times a game and thinking that you're going to make it into the playoffs. Like I've been saying it all week, I sound like a broken record, but I am going to reiterate this to the players, fans, and all journalists out there. one thing that is going to lose playoff series for any of these teams is lack of free throw shooting, not being able to get defensive rebounds, bad clock management, and poor decision making coming down the stretch. That's what this is going to be. And when it comes to I'm saying this to all teams because all of the teams that I've covered this week, they have pretty much turned the ball over at an alarming rate. And it's bad for all of these teams to start doing this because we are 3 weeks away from the playoffs. And you pretty much you should have everything together. I know everybody is dealing with a nagging injury here and there. But you have got to make sure all your ducks, your geese, or whatever analogy you want to use when you talk about basketball, whatever analogy you want to use, you got to make sure that all your stuff, you got to be on your A's, B's, and you got to be on your A's and B's when it comes to playoffs. And you have to also study the X's and O's. That way you can start getting on a roll and getting many W's and trying to get those championship roles. Now, the next game I'm going to cover, oh, my Lakers. My Lakers, they lost to the Bulls for the second time in 6 days. What is going on with my Lakers, y'all? I mean, when I looked at this game last night, I said, "Oh, I ain't even know if I want to do the show this morning because, man, it's like it's you know what I'm gonna say? It's almost like the Lakers is that one family member where they know what kind of potential they have. Everybody in the family know what kind of potential they have, but yet they have moments and instances where they don't really live up to that ultimate potential. Now, the Lakers, they should have blew out the Bulls last night. That's what I'm saying. Now, they had no reason to lose this game last night. I'm going to go down an entire list of who all played and where it went wrong for the Lakers. So, starting off with the Lakers, Dorian Finney-Smith, he had 3 points. He really wasn't no factor. LeBron James, he had 17 points. Jackson Hayes had 19 points. Luka Doncic had 25 points. Austin Reeves had 30 points. The bench production, Jared Vanderbilt had 7 points. Gabe Vincent had 8 points. Jordan Goodwin had 8 points. Dalton Knecht had 0 points. Man, Lakers, man, I was gonna wear my Lakers jersey again. I was gonna wear my Lakers jersey today for the show, but when I found out that when I saw that they had lost, and in the way that they had lost, it's unsettling to me. I'm acting like I'm the head coach because when I say that a team is going to win and they don't win, I as far as me in my thoughts and analogies when it comes to sports is I really don't feel well because it's a lot of people that depend on me to give them the right information as far as heading into games and post-game interviews. Post-game analysis. So the Lakers, they lost this game after having an 18-point lead in the fourth quarter. Before I get into the Bulls statistics, when there's a team that is leading by 18 points with under 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, no matter what sport you are in, the percentages of a team winning is 95%. So the Lakers had a 95% chance at winning this game with 6:42 left in the fourth quarter and them being up by 18. And then all of a sudden you see where the Bulls, they go on this crazy run of, I think, 16-2 run in the final 432. So it was pretty much a tie game, and then the last few seconds the Lakers were leading by one. They shouldn't have been leading by one. The game should have been over at the 6-minute mark. But one thing I can say is we all know who JJ Redick is. JJ Redick is the head coach of the Lakers, and I'm in that same boat with him when it comes to one of the teams that I like losing. JJ Redick don't sleep well. Me, I don't sleep well because I feel like I'm the damn head coach because I'm giving my audience X's and O's and pretty much placing this player here, placing this player there, and pretty much if it doesn't come out with a win, I'm saying to myself, what were we doing? So, and I heard last night where the reporter asked JJ Redick, how does this loss feel? And JJ Redick said, devastation. It is. It's devastation because 18-point lead, under 6 minutes left. You supposed to kick in the damn door with that. You supposed to just shut the damn door and don't let your opponent have any resemblance of life. You cannot give a wounded dog life. Another analogy that I'm using. You can't give no wounded person life because if you give them life, they gonna take what's yours. And I'm gonna tell you, the Chicago Bulls, they stole a victory from the Lakers last night. And the Lakers, they pretty much just gave it to them. They pretty much did because I'm gonna tell y'all, this is my photographic memory talking. With under 2 minutes left, and the Bulls were down by 6 points. I'm gonna say that. 2 drives to the basket, then all of a sudden it's back down to a 1-point game. I've been saying throughout the entirety of this show, what can lose you games? Turnovers, and let me tell you, turnovers. The Lakers, they had 11 turnovers last night, but the Bulls had 15 turnovers. But I'm not going to say that turnovers lost this game for the Lakers. What I'm going to say, what lost this game for the Lakers is bad clock management, bad shot selection. Because 18 points and under 6 minutes left. That's why I said JJ Redick, he not sleeping well, and I'm not sleeping well because, hey, JJ Redick, if you need another assistant coach when it comes to expertise and how to manage the clock when it comes late into the fourth quarter, please hire me. Please hire me. Keytown Sports, Key City Sports. You can give me a contract. You know what? You give me a contract and let me tell you. Give me 5 years when it comes to this team right here. Now we all know that LeBron is going to leave. We all know that. But we have got to get those young guys when it comes to late in the shot clock and late in the fourth quarter. We have got to tell those players they need to use better shot selection and they need to have better decision making because some of these players last night, they were taking, 27-foot 3-pointers. I mean, they falling back, shot just bricking, not even making it to the basket. And like I've been saying, that can lose you a series in the playoffs. So the Lakers in this situation, hey, like I say, I'm a Lakers fan, but I am not a biased person. Like I said, the Lakers have problems. I'm going to report it. Any team that I love And if they have problems, I'm gonna report it. So the Bulls were lucky to get that game last night. They really were. The final, and I do mean the final game I am going to cover for today is the Memphis Grizzlies and the OKC Thunder. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Thunder, they are in the top five. OKC, they have clinched a playoff berth. Memphis, they are in the fifth spot. They are tied with the Lakers for the fourth spot. So last night's game between the OKC Thunder and Memphis Grizzlies was pretty much how I expected it to be. Jaren Jackson Jr., 27 points. Santi Almada, 10 points. Jalen Wells, 13 points. Desmond Bane, 3 points. Scottie Pippen Jr., 17 points. The bench production for the Grizzlies: Lamar Stevens, 2 points. Jay Huff, 8 points. Zach Edey, 8 points. John Carter, 0 points. Luke Kennard, 9 points. Vince Williams Jr., 7 points. Cam Spencer, 0 points. The Memphis Grizzlies, what have I been saying over? I'm going to just go ahead and say, what have I been saying over the last year and a half since I started this show? The Memphis Grizzlies are a team that is just full of hype. At the end of the day, we can project them to, be this high, have a high ranking, have a high standing in the playoffs, have home court advantage. But when it comes to winning in the playoffs, the Memphis Grizzlies haven't done that. And the Thunder, they haven't done that neither. But the Thunder, they are in a better situation than the Memphis Grizzlies. The Thunder, only trepidation we have about them is, can they perform in the playoffs? The Grizzlies, there are so many flaws with the Grizzlies, I don't even know where to start, because I don't know what it is when it comes to the Grizzlies, but this has been over their franchise history. They've had good teams over the years. They just can't get over the hump. And this has been 30 years worth of trying to get over the hump. Because I'm not gonna bore y'all to death. If y'all want to know the history of the franchise history of the Memphis Grizzlies, go back to one of my videos that I did last month, and that'll tell you everything, because I sound like a broken record if I go over it again. So, the Memphis Grizzlies, they are at the fifth spot in the West right now. I don't see them going very far in the playoffs. And with the Thunder, what can they do in the playoffs? Because season statistics, they are great. Chet Holmgren, 4 points. Jalen Williams, 20 points. Isaiah Hartenstein, 18 points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 37 points. Lou Dort, 9 points. Adam Flagler, this is the Thunder bench production. Adam Flagler, 0 points. Jalen Williams, 3 points. Dylan Jones, 0 points. Kenrick Williams, 8 points. Brandon Carlson, 3 points. Alex Caruso, 6 points. Isaiah Joe, 7 points. Cason Wallace, 10 points. The Thunder, in this situation, like I've been saying, they just gonna have to prove it to me in the playoffs. These season statistics are water under the bridge. We know how good they are in the regular season. And even statistic-wise in this game, they pretty much, the statistics in this game pretty much go in the Thunder favor. Offensive total rebounds, +9 for the Thunder. Offensive rebounds, +2 for the Thunder. Defensive rebounds, +7 for the Thunder. Assists, same, 28. Steals, same, 9. Blocks, same, 9. Memphis, total turnovers, 19 turnovers. They should have lost this game just by the turnover ratio. +7 for the Memphis Grizzlies. Fast break points, +12 for the Thunder. Fast points in the paint, +22 for the Thunder. Fouls, 3 +3 for the Memphis Grizzlies. And the largest lead for this game was the Thunder by 23, and they won by 21 in this game. So, my final take before I close the show and I let you all enjoy your weekends. Next week what we are going to be doing is we're going to be covering Elite 8 matchups and the Final Four matchups in college basketball. So now, back to my final take for the Thursday night slate of games in the NBA. All of these teams, they have a certain flaw, and they have it all in common. Turnovers, and the Lakers, my team, the problem that they have is third quarter scoring. I don't know what it is, but the first two quarters, the first half, they can pretty much defend like their life, play defense like their lives depend on it. And then you have third quarter, you have so many defensive lapses if you are the Lakers. And then by the middle of the fourth quarter, it seemed like they're just trying to catch up. If they don't work on that and try to improve it, they will be going home in the playoffs. No ifs, ands, or buts. The Thunder, what can you do in the playoffs? Just show me. What can you do in the playoffs? Can you win a championship? Can you win in the playoffs? That's my question for the Thunder. For the Miami Heat, can you please just make it to the playoffs to at least give your fans a chance to, go into the offseason with some hope for next season? And also, here is the current bracket for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference of the NBA. Cleveland Cavaliers have clinched a playoff berth. Boston Celtics have clinched a playoff berth. The New York Knicks have clinched a playoff berth. And the Oklahoma City Thunder have clinched a playoff berth. Every other spot, 2 through 10 in the West, is up for grabs, and 4 through 10 in the Eastern Conference is up for grabs. The next week and a half of the NBA is going to be special. Like I've been saying, all of these teams, they can't lose 1 or 2 games because that's the difference of having home court advantage or you going on the road in the first round. And with that, those are my reactions to the NBA Thursday night slate of games. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. Also, we are doing an expansion over here on YouTube, and we are also doing an expansion over on Instagram. I want to thank everybody who watches the show every day, and let me tell you, this is the best time of the year to place your bets on future statistics when it comes to NCAA, the draft, who is going to go first in the draft, NBA playoffs, and NBA finals. And also, the baseball season has started. Now, I am not going to cover baseball because I don't know if you all are intrigued if I cover baseball. So if there is anybody out there who would like for me to cover baseball, I wouldn't mind doing it. I wouldn't, because over the last couple of years, I have been learning the rules of the MLB. So it's an audience. It's up to y'all if you want me, if you want Key Town Sports, and if you want Key City Sports to cover baseball. So the choice is yours. So anybody who wants me to cover baseball, you can contact me in the chat on YouTube, contact me through Twitter, contact me through Instagram, or contact me through my email. Either way, whatever you all want and whatever the audience want as a whole, I will cover it. So, at the end of the day, please like, share, and follow Key City Sports on YouTube. Key City Sports on Instagram, Key Town Sports on YouTube. And remember one last thing, the key is always on time.